Football isn't just the beautiful game, it's the global one, and your next save could be in the far north or the extreme south, or maybe at the eastern or western extremities of the world. The four clubs at the corners of the earth couldn't be more different, and they've each inspired these FM23 Save Ideas. Don your thermals as we begin with the most northerly club that you can take charge of in Football Manager 2023. And we're heading to the Scandinavian haven of Norway, who provide us with the playable club closest to the North Pole. Let us introduce you to Alta, a semi-professional club in the Norwegian third tier. Alta is home to 21,000 inhabitants and is so far north it is as far from Oslo as Oslo is from Rome. Home games are played at the Alta Idretts Park, with games moving to the 1,250-seat Finnmarkhallen, an indoor domed sports arena when the snow gets too heavy. Founded in 1927, Alta have had limited success on the national football stage. They've had the occasional flirtation with second-tier football and reached the Norwegian Cup quarter-final in 2011. They're often considered to represent the Sami people, the traditional nomadic tribes of northern Scandinavia, and their most famous player is Morten Gamst Pedersen, who played 38 times between 2020 and 2022 and scored 19 goals at 40 years of age. Alta is located 400 kilometers north of the Arctic Circle, but success in this part of the world is not unheard of. In 2020, Bodø Glimt became the first club based inside the Arctic Circle to win a European League, and 300 kilometres away, Tromsø have been a regular participant in top-flight football. But there's no getting away from the fact that conditions are challenging in this part of the world. But Alta offer the opportunity to take charge of a club in the lowest playable division in Norway and guide them to the top flight, where you'd have to cover huge distances for away games. But if you could qualify the club for European competition, you could become the first manager to guide a club from the Arctic Circle and the most northerly club in Football Manager 2023 to a European title. For FM's southernmost club, we head from Norway to the continent of South America and the city of Puerto Madryn in Patagonia, Argentina. The city has two playable teams, but the furthest south of these by about 3.5 kilometres is Guillermo Brown. Brown were formed in 1945 and are named after an Irish-Argentine admiral and are nicknamed La Banda del Sur, or the Southern Gang. They play at the 10,000 capacity Estadio Raul Conti and played in the regional leagues during much of the 20th century, but in 2003 they were finally promoted to the Argentine third tier. Now in the second division, the Argentine Primera Nacional, they are yet to compete in the Primera division. The club may be light on trophies, but in 2012 they experienced a night that lives long in the memory. The side travelled to the Monumental, the sporting cathedral that is home to 37 times national champions River Plate from Buenos Aires. The home side features stars such as David Trezeguet and Guillermo Brown were trailing going into stoppage time before a last-minute goal gave them a draw that made Argentina sit up and take notes. If you can take Guillermo Brown into Argentina's top division, fixtures like this could become the norm, although away games to Buenos Aires will involve travelling 1,300 kilometres. But maybe you could guide the most southerly playable club in FM23 to national and continental glory in your next save. Now, geography may not be my strongest subject, but I'm assuming that the world isn't flat. So in this case, the end of the Earth is the international dateline, which means that the eastern leg of our journey takes us to New Zealand, and more specifically to Wellington, home to Wellington Phoenix. Despite hailing from New Zealand, the Yellow Army play in the Australian A-League, a playable nation in FM23. They are the only professional football club in New Zealand, with the country's own league being a semi-professional or amateur affair. They were founded in 2007 with the specific purpose of playing in Australia after the previous Kiwi participant in the A-League, the Auckland-based New Zealand Knights, were dissolved. Their ground is the 34,500 capacity Sky Stadium in New Zealand's capital, known by the locals as the Cake Tin. Phoenix have to share their ground with a host of other sports, including rugby, cricket and Australian rules football. They have had some success in their short history, reaching the playoffs in 8 of their 16 seasons, their highest placed finish being 3rd. One thing you'll notice is their emphasis on youth. The club have good youth facilities and excellent youth recruitment that has led to the emergence of players such as Sarpreet Singh, who is now contracted to Bayern Munich. Being based in a different nation to the league you play in inevitably requires a lot of travelling, with away matches against Perth Glory covering over 5,000 kilometres. Aside from New Zealand has yet to win the A-League. So are you up to the challenge in this footballing outpost for your next save? Our final stopping point is the western extremity of the footballing world, and for this, we head to North America and to the nation of Canada, where we find Pacific FC. They are based on Vancouver Island in the province of British Columbia, and they are also the newest club in this video playing in the newest league. Pacific are nicknamed the Tridents and were founded in 2018 with the express purpose of playing in the inaugural season of the Canadian Premier League. Home games take place at the 6,100 capacity Starlight Stadium, and the club have already tasted success, winning the playoffs in 2021. This is your chance to create the club's history in a long-term save. Pacific will compete for fans against 2 other local sides. Vancouver Whitecaps are now an established MLS club who Pacific could eventually meet in continental competition, but this season they will also face Vancouver FC, a brand new expansion team in the Canadian Premier League, bringing some local derby matches to your FM23 adventure. Could you build on Pacific FC's recent success and go on to dominate Canadian and then North American football for decades? Perhaps this is the ideal setting for a Canadian Build a Nation challenge in your next save.